Turning now to news in Canada, people in cities across the country and around the world have taken part in so-called freedom rallies. The rallies oppose COVID-19 measures, and thousands turned out in Toronto despite the cold. Lorenda Redekop reports.
In Toronto, thousands gathered outside the Ontario legislature. Speakers included politicians who've become known for opposing vaccine mandates, lockdowns, and mask requirements. For some here, a big issue is vaccines.
We can't discriminate and force people to take something against their will.
Everybody has a choice. I'm not going to tell people how to raise their kids. I just don't want anybody telling how to raise mine.
Though in Toronto, 90% of those eligible have at least one dose. And the province's science table says people with 2 doses have an 80% lower chance of ending up in hospital than the unvaccinated.
This rally in Toronto is much bigger than others held recently. It's one of many protests being held in cities around the world.
That includes London. Healthcare staff opposed to vaccine mandates joined protesters. People also marched in Paris, upset with a new vaccine passport that starts next week. Back in Canada, in Fredericton, police got involved, taking 2 people into custody. In Ottawa, people marched near Parliament Hill.
I'm feeling frustrated, but also I just feel like we should have a choice. I think it's being divided too much.
Ontario is easing some restrictions at the end of the month. And while hospitalizations still remain high, some doctors are optimistic.
Omicron came through here like a freight train. It went up fast, but it's also going down fast. People are getting out of the ICU much more than they did, for example, with Alpha and Delta. Hospitalization, the duration is less.
But there's also caution.
This is not the time to have a party with 49 of your closest friends. I think we need to be still a little bit careful, realize that when you're going to lift restrictions, they have to be very gradual.
All too slow for people here, some of whom have opposed lockdown measures for almost 2 years now. Lorenda Redekop, CBC News, Toronto.